Welcome to Work Week, May 19th to May 23rd, 2025. Just doing a quick video of some lessons I learned this week that was pretty interesting. The first one was, you have to time block for business development. You got to schedule time blocks, and it's best to do it early part of the morning. That's when you have the strongest willpower. And you got to do those blocks that's dedicated to business development. It can be making phone calls, a lot of it's just dialing. And you got to get to a point where you protect your environment and you're making those calls, you're not getting distracted. And I was talking to a client recently and I said, look, how many days last week did you make phone calls? He said, Arnel, I only made 2 out of 5. What happened? I just got distracted. So I asked him this question: was the distractions life or death? He goes, what do you mean? Was it life or death? He said, no. Then it's not that important to be distracted. You got to stay focused. So last week, he blocked out 3 days, 2 hours, and he's going to stay focused, get in his, get in a zone. Don't look at his emails. Don't look at his text messages. When he gets calls, put it to, I said, I told him, put it to your voicemail and just dial, 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 dial. And I remember it said that, remember, if it isn't life and death, it's not that important. Don't get distracted and make your phone calls. So that was the lesson. The other thing people ask me when I work with business owners, hey, Arnel, what's the best way to network? And I tell them, if you know your target market, join a professional trade organization. That's your target market and get involved in the organization so you can build relationships, build that social capital now. And if you need it, you can ask for help. So, for example, I have a commercial heating air conditioning company who joined a local trade organization that has commercial construction companies involved. So one of the things he has done over the last couple of years, he's either go get work and he gets back in operations and he stops building those relationships and developing. And then when it gets to a some point, he gets everything stabilizes, then he's got to go out and network. So I suggest, hey, he's in my double your income class. What we're going to be focusing on is we're going to focusing on make sure you join an association that's professional trade that's in your target market, which are commercial construction companies, and he's getting involved, is going to events, is going to get in a committee because I said, look, if you're involved and you're building those relationships when you need business because you built it, you build that social capital, you can ask, or some of those people will try you out. But so it's like I said, the difference is you're not going in and out. You're actually just developing the social capital when you need it. So sometimes the best ways for business owners to network is join a network, become part of the network, join a professional trade organization, and join the one that has your niche. Another thing that I've noticed this last week, which was really interesting, is if your state of mind is anxious, frustrated, stressed, angry, or just plain negative, doesn't matter what current strategy you're working on now, you won't be able to sustain it, or you'll be flip flopping off and on doing different things, or you'll sabotage yourself. And you need to have the right state of mind so you can evaluate if your strategy is working and record and track it. Or if it's not working, you need a new strategy, but without a state of mind that you're positive, you're calm, and you're at peace, you can look at things differently because you give you space. One of the best resources out there is a book called Positive Intelligence that has a program called PQ. And I've taken it over the last 2 years, and it's a game changer for me because what I have to do, and I advise my clients, is to improve your positive intelligence. We want to make sure your state of mind is calm, at peace, because you can develop a strategy into a strong skill or develop a new strategy and be so self-aware so that it works with you and against you and you're not sabotaging yourself. Another thing I learned this last week is how do partners work together that's effective? And a partner could be you can own a business where you have two partners, not blood related, you just have unique skills, or it could be husband and wife, it could be two brothers and a cousin and cousin's sister. I mean, the dynamics is usually unique. I mean, and so how do you keep partners working together and be effective and productive, one of the things we talk about, which is really important, is develop your roles. What's your org chart? What's the one goal this year? This year you have for your company. What are your priorities and strategies? Who's managing those priorities and strategies? Who's holding them accountable? Who's leading? If who's the third party working with you? So what, and then who is helping you communicate with your partners? It's very difficult if your husband and wife to work together, any family related or non-family related, because you may have certain strengths and weaknesses, but you're not operating as a team. You're not working together as a team. You don't know who the leader is. And then eventually what happens is you're not as effective, you're not productive. You're kind of your own way doing things. The secret is one page plan, outside influence or accountability, weekly meetings to work on the business, not only work in it, who's leading, outside support, inside support, hold you accountable. There's all different things you have to have to keep partners effective and productive. So I recommend that you bring somebody in to help you work through that. If not, very likely do partners really grow fast and quick. And when they're under a tremendous amount of stress or things are not going well, they just don't know how to communicate because the other partners are not so self-aware of the strengths and weaknesses, and you need people to facilitate around a plan. Another thing that's interesting, I've seen a lot of so another thing I've learned this week is how people are networking. I see a lot of people today in business going to all these networks, and what I find out, they're looking for two things. They're looking for instant business, right, for themselves, or they're looking to just go out and network. No plan, no process, no idea. Does that work? No, not really. I've done it many years. So what I've learned through like Michael J. Mayer, 7 levels of communication, other sources, the best thing to do is develop your network. And if you have the courage, the best thing to do is generate your own network that's focused on a specific niche. I know 2 individuals have developed their network that is actually target market. They actually have a format. And the difference is they don't network for everyone. They network in a niche. So I know somebody who actually has created, we call it the Coastal Business Exchange. It's focused on commercial real estate. And we invite people in the commercial real estate development, commercial real estate procurement, it's development, build out, additions, commercial conditions, just everything commercial real estate development, sales, everyone that's tied in that commercial real estate type of landscape. And what they do is they meet weekly with a group of people that either give introductions, share information, help them handle challenges, or talk about what's new in that space or in their industry. It's really amazing. So, I think when you first network, people go out and just be really busy, look for clients. Really, what you need to do is build a network, but build a network around your niche. But most importantly, build a network with people who are not competitors in your niche, but can support. Like for example, if I was an environmental business development person, I would have in my group somebody who's a project manager, commercial construction, somebody who's a project manager or executive at an engineering firm, civil, landscaping. I would have, I would have all the people I need to make a deal go through in commercial real estate agent, commercial property person, have all the people in construction. I would have those people because they all at some point talk to people you want to. I know another person who's figuring out a niche going after seniors, working with seniors. So he's developing a network that for people who work in the senior market and really do that. Because eventually what happens is the more people that you are in your niche, it's a lot easier to build a network, and they support one another. And that's one of the most powerful things I see is just don't go network, build a network. This week, I want to give a shout out to ACG 757. Again, shout out to ACG 757. We had a panel discussion with several business development firms who work for defense contractors or government contractors who are hired just to help them do business development. Amazing panel, great people. I actually AI the presentation, have the names of the people. But one thing I learned that they say the average BD person in government procurement only lasts 18 months. And they say it's far better to outsource it, which is I agree, because not many people in defense contract and government contract is really good at BD. That's all they have to do. And when you're running the business, there's a lot of people in the government contract that's probably more operational than BD. But the panel said people hire them to do the BD so they can help them get those big contracts on defense contracting. And ACG did a phenomenal presentation. It was great. So the whole goal of that is if you're a defense contractor or a government contractor and you need BD excellence, it's better to hire one of the local companies in the area, go through that process, and let your business take off. So if you're interested in the AI notes, summary, and those contexts, just DM me. I'll send that to you later. The other thing I want to talk about that was really exciting and powerful this last week was I want to thank Mylan Tran with VACC. Again, Mylan Tran with VACC. She had me speak at a panel discussion about being a small business owner, an Asian American Pacific Islander, Asian owner. So she has the fourth annual APPI event. She is highlighting Filipino small business owners or people who work in the business landscape. I was one of them. And we talked about, successes, failures, and challenges as a small business owner as a Filipino. I'm about 55 years old. I've been in, sales, 100% commission, business owner for about 25 years. I mean, it's an interesting perspective I have from my experience, but I wanted to thank my land training VACC because I've been a part of that organization a long time. They really did a great presentation, even with a small group of people. They had a panel discussion. They had like 4 or 5 countries give their native dance. That was amazing. The food was good. I mean, I'm always reminded about our roots. So it was just really good to just be there and just be part of the panel. Now, the other thing I want to share this last week that I learned, if you're a business owner or scaling your business and you're working crazy 50, 60 hours a week and you've been doing it one way and your family knows you kind of have to move, you don't get to move over your schedule, you barely take off. But then now the work schedule is changing because now you're transitioning to a different level in the business and you're just, you think it's going to be great for your family. But the key is let them know the changes, let them know how it's going to benefit them, what the changes are, and how they'll see you show up. And a lot of times what happens is when people grow a business, they may have to work the weekends to work on their business and then eventually work backwards and consolidate working in the business 5 days a week or 6 days a week, one day where work on it and then move backwards. But you got to let your family know. Like I have some business owners who have to transition from a business owner who wears 8 hats to now over the next couple of years transitioning to one hat. And then he says, well, how do I let my family know? Just tell them what's in it for them, what the changes look like, how you're going to spend time with them. Because eventually you want to get to that C-suite role that you're only responsible for one role, but it may take 2 or 3 years to put the right people and processes in place. But don't forget your family, because I really believe you want to support them, especially if your purpose is to create, a legacy for them, for your wife, your kids, and anyone after them. The other thing too is I think one of the things I learned last week was probably the most important part is how do you make decisions in your business life when you're always under so much pressure? So one of the things we talk about when I advise clients, I always tell them, all right, what's your purpose? Okay. Is your purpose aligned with your one goal in business? Yes, that's a revenue goal. Is it aligned to your priorities? What's your first priority, second priority, third priority? What's your personal goal this year? Is that aligned to your a purpose of your life? Is it aligned to, what are your priorities and strategies? What's the first one, second, third one? So what we have to do when we're under a tremendous amount of pressure, things are changing really quick and fast, and every decision seems to be urgent. But is it really urgent? You take a step back and go, oh, let me look at making sure that I look at my purpose. I look at one time goal. I look at my priority, first priority, what's my strategy, second priority, third priority, what's the time frame look like? How do I take that and to break it to annual goals, the monthly, weekly? And then you look at your time, and that's how you make a decision. Your decisions are based on priority, which is based on purpose, which is can be measured by a goal. So one of the things that I remind my clients when we're talking about all this level of stress that people are calling them, employees quitting, the bank, a lawyer, somebody got hurt at work, son is sick. How do you pick and choose? And we always go back to purpose, goal, priorities, and then, you know, what can you do? Because at the end of the day, we all want to do the right thing, but we just have to have some type of process that aligns us to who we are, where we want to be in the future, and not sabotage ourselves. So this was my work week from last week. So I just want to share some points throughout the week. It was pretty exciting. So I hope this was helpful. Hope I shared some nuggets of what I see every day, Monday through Saturday, working business owners. I love what I do. It's interesting. I'm hoping that these things I share will be helpful for you. All right. Thank you for watching the video, and thank you for allowing me to share.